ah, oh, ah, ah, Okay, rule number 6. Rule number 6 is when you are listening, when you're in an interaction with a prospect, you want to use what I call cave person talk. Politically correct. We won't say caveman, it's cave person. So cave person talk means that you are giving audible signals, you're giving audible responses, encouraging people to talk. If you look at some of the best listeners, you'll notice this especially with therapists or doctors, as they're asking someone, tell me more about your problem. How did that manifest? Tell me about your childhood. As the person starts to tell the story, they will start to make audible signals that they are engaged in the conversation. So remember, of course, based on one of our last rules, you're going to be keeping your eye contact, but you also want to encourage your prospect and let them know that you're listening. And of course, cave person talk is to help you to remember it. I don't want you to sit there and grunt or groan at them like a cave person. However, what that sounds like is this. If somebody says, well, here's my information for you, and you could say, cave person talk is, oh, okay, It is the audible signals that you give to a prospect that let them know that you're tracking along with them, that's a good way to say it, that you're tracking with them. And of course, what you can also include in the cave person talk is you can also include body language. So a nodding of the head, if you're agreeing, if you're understanding what they're saying, and you can also add words. You just don't have to grunt and say oh, but you can also encourage them. I see. That makes sense. That must have been difficult. That sounds important. But in general, the idea of using cave person talk is to focus your body language, your audio signals, your auditory, your audible signals to the prospect, letting them know that you're engaged. I have literally seen people that maybe they're good listeners. I don't know. Have you ever had anybody that just stares at you and they don't respond to what you're saying, and they just look at you blankly, and you can't tell whether or not they're tracking with you, whether they like it, whether they don't? I've seen people with a completely impassive face, and that's bad listening. If someone is going to be pouring their heart out to you about their issues or their problems, you definitely want to help them to understand that you're tracking along. So shaking your head, saying, yeah, that's true, yes. Oh, that happens a lot. Yes. Something, maybe they say something that's very depressing, or maybe something, they reveal something to you that's very personal. You might track along with, like a MMM, right, of kind of sympathy or empathy, that you're saying, yeah, that must have been tough. That must have been, wow, that must have been fun. Oh, great. And oh of surprise. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then all of a sudden I decided the other day I'm going to lose that 20 pounds. Oh, okay, great. Right? You want to be responsive to your prospect using cave person talk. Again, use this material in low-risk situations. Again, some of you will tell me it's high-risk situations. Look, friends, relatives, spouses, significant others, partners, people at your house. Dinner time is a great time. Going out to dinner with someone on a date with your spouse or significant other is a great time to practice this. Notice how people become more responsive to you when you maintain the eye contact when they're speaking, when you're audibly tracking along with them and agreeing, yeah, got it, tough, makes sense. And that your body language, make sure that your body language is squared away. This goes along with the audible signals. You don't, again, as we discussed, you don't want to be looking around, and hopefully we've solved that problem by helping you to understand that you never break eye contact when they're speaking. But in addition, you don't want to, for example, turn your body in such a way that your body language is showing that you're facing somewhere else. When I talk with a prospect, if I'm sitting in a chair or if I'm standing up, I will always square myself off to them. I will let them know that I am focused on them. That is, remember, that's the biggest trick that you have when you're listening. You have to really sinceriously, a new word that I've created called sinceriously, you have to sinceriously really want to hear what they're saying and be really focused. When we focus on people, they get that we're present. This is really great listeners. Great listeners are present. And again, that's something that you really give to the people that you're listening to, is by being present to them. They'll feel honored, they'll feel listened to. So you want to make sure that your body language lets them know that you're focused on them. I remember hearing stories about the famous politician Bill Clinton. No matter what you think of Bill Clinton, everyone agrees that Bill Clinton is absolutely a master bonder. And here's what they say about Bill Clinton. They say that when Bill Clinton is talking to you, you feel that you are the only person in the room, that he has excluded everything else, and that he is completely and entirely focused on you, intrigued about what you're saying, and is totally present to you. That is an incredible skill. Some of us have it naturally. Many of us have to work at it. And by doing things like audibly using cave person talk, got it. By doing those kinds of things, you're increasing your level of listening, you're increasing your retention, you're honoring the person, and you're letting them know that you're really there to help them to solve that problem. So make sure that when you're talking to someone that they understand that you see them, that you perhaps see only them in that conversation. You're not distracted by anything. What they're saying is so important to you that you would exclude everything else. You would talk with them because what they're saying is the most important thing in the world. By the way, when you try this with just the people that you love, God forbid that we should be more present for the people that we care about, never mind our prospects, you'll notice instantly an improvement in your relationships with the people that you care about, because they will get that you're present and you're listening. Use cave person talk, give people audible signals, shake your head, maintain that eye contact. If they start to give you a concerned face, you can match that face a little bit. If they're excited and happy and wide-eyed, you can match that face as well. It shows them that you're tracking along. Use cave person talk. It will help increase your listening by 30 to 40%.